You know, it was neat. I was having a feeling as I was standing back there. You all stood up and you introduced yourself. 2 minutes before you did it, Mike Palin said, stand up, introduce yourself, tell who you are, where you're from, why you're here, and what is the one most important thing you're looking for. And then you all stood up one at a time and you did that speech. Here comes a question. How many of you felt the adrenaline sit in? How many felt like you were semi-mumbling? How many were nervous as you stood up for that few seconds? Keep your hand up and notice that my hand is up too. I am no different than anybody else. If a minute before I'm to go on, someone said to me, do a dissertation like everybody else, I'd stand up, and you know the feeling. I don't think my lips moved. Oh, it didn't make sense. That's not what I wanted to say. Right? You know the feeling? Yeah. But there's a way to erase it. A way to erase it. It'll never happen again as long as you live if you remember the key word, preparation. Yeah. If 4 weeks ago we sent out a letter and said, look, you're going to be asked to spend a few seconds, stand up, tell who you are, where you're from, what you're here for, and what is the one thing you're looking for more than anything else, boy, you guys would get up. Some of you we have to cut short. Yes? Yeah. Well, maybe that's what this whole program is about, is to prepare you so that when you've got something inside of you that you want, you're dying to say to people, I can show you how to prepare yourself in such a fashion so that your message is communicated in a professional manner. Everybody do me a favor, turn to the person next to you, shake their hand and say goodbye. Go ahead, everybody. In the next 2.5 days, this is a Speakers Academy workshop. I asked you to give some thought to your topic. And a lot of you hit the old which button? Panic button. Oh, they want me to design a 1-hour speech and have it already, and I don't know what to do. No, topic. In other words, look, we're here for different reasons. Pat, you want to be more effective at speaking in front of your group and brokers' councils, and you just want to be more effective. Forget that for a minute. If you had the ideal audience, it were all up to you, and you had 1 hour to speak with them, it was all up to you, what message would you want to get across? 1 hour, any audience you want, any size you want. What is the one message you're burning to say to them? So when I get finished with the foundation and we break into workshops over and over and over this next 3 days, what we want to do is we want to take that topic and we want to help you build the speech for that topic. And if you can build the speech for that topic, the message that you're burning with, then from that point on, no matter who the group is, no matter how much time you've got to prepare, no matter what you're doing for a living, you are going to deliver it like a pro. I asked you to shake hands and say goodbye because this is like deja vu for me. I've seen you here many times over the years working with trainers and speakers and trying to teach speakers and teach trainers, and I can tell you right now, there's not one person in this room that's going to leave here in 3 days the same person that walked in this room. I'll guarantee it. You can take it to the bank. Everybody put their right hand over their left side of their chest, grab that steel handle, you feel it, and pull that ripcord. Because the mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. I would challenge you to do one thing. In this next 3 days, forget what you know. Pretend you don't know anything. Because you already are who you are. You already do what you do. If you can start scratch with that message that you burn with, the ideal audience, and build it around the Floyd Wickman way, when you're out of here, you're going to blend the two together, and you're going to be better than you ever were. Stick with me. I've got 3 objectives. Anybody ever built a house? Yeah. You would have a problem if you built it upside down. Yes? No? Why? Tell me why. Yeah, exactly, because you need a foundation, and a home is only as strong as a foundation. What my job is with you this morning is to lay the foundation so that everything else that you work on in the next few days is going to be more effective for you. In a nutshell, I'm painting a picture for the next 3 days. I'm going to work very hard with you this morning. You're going to work very hard with me the next few days. Yes, no? Yes. I'm going to make you a commitment. I got 3 objectives. I want to have some fun. I want you to get to know everybody in the room. I want to get to know you. I want to laugh with you. We'll chuckle. I want to give you some tools, some real nuts and bolts tools, and I want to light your fuse. I want to get you excited so when you're out of here, you're going to believe that, hey, you know what? I can speak. If he can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. Because I'll tell you what, how many ever heard me say there's nothing special about special people? It's what they do, not who they are. Yep. Don't lose that thought. I'm going to make you a commitment. I'm going to try not to bore you with a lot of glib phrases, old anecdotes. Too many times we go to programs, speakers spend the whole day with funny thing happened to me on the way to the meeting. How many ever heard that crap? I get tired of hearing it. I've been going to meetings for 30 years. Nothing ever funny ever happened to me, you know, until this week. No, it did. It did. So I said, look, let me tell them about that. I'll get it out of the way. We'll get on with the program. I'm razzing you. Some of you fly a lot. You're speakers, you're trainers. How many of you do fly enough in you? You know? I fly a lot, a couple hundred days a year. I don't like flying. I don't think it's natural. I really don't. Think about it, they call it a terminal. I mean, that's the way I think about it. First thing you see when you walk in is a life insurance booth. Then you hear an announcement, Flight 222 is about to make its final departure, and you're on 222. You got the feeling? You're about to get on a plane built by the lowest bidder. This is the way I think about it. But I fly 200 days a year. Anyhow, earlier in the week, I had to get from Cleveland to Detroit. And the only connection I could get was Northwest Airlink. Level with me. How many ever flew on that little sucker? Oh, God. I knew I was in trouble. I'm standing in the ticket line in Cleveland. 2 people ahead of me, the lady handed the ticket agent some money. She said, let me have 2 chances to Detroit. I mean, if you've never flown on Northwest Airlink, this is sort of public knowledge, Frank. Just behind her, the guy set down 3 pieces of luggage. He said, I want this one to go to San Diego, I want this one to go to Miami, and I want this one to go to Vancouver, British Columbia. And the guy said, I'm sorry, sir, we can't do that. He said, why not? You did it last time. You know, just to give you a perspective. Anyhow, as I'm landing in Detroit, I could overhear the co-pilot, because on Northwest Airlink you could hear him. And he said something like, kind of garbled, he said, Tower, this is Flight 222, what time is it over? You know how they do that? And you could hear the tower come back, kind of garbled, and say, well, what airlines are you? And the pilot got a little upset. He said, what difference does that make? I just want to know what time it is over. Kind of upset, and the tower came back, kind of garbled, and said, well, it makes all the difference in the world. You see, if you're Pan Am, it's 1,400 hours. If you're American Airlines, it's 2 p.m. Now, if you're Northwest Airlink, the little hand is on the 2. I'm razzing you. Speaking of time, you know, when you've been doing something for 18 years of your life, and to say that I'm in the training speaking business would be an understatement. To say that training and speaking is in me rather than me in it would be closer to the truth. But when you spend 18 years in a business, there are some things you learn. Would you agree with that? Yep. You could write a book on your business, and I can write a book on my business. Only because we spend so many years, they say one of the best ways to learn is from OP, other people, or you're reinventing the wheel. As near as I can tell, and then I'll tell you why I figured this out, this is about 2,342nd time I stood in front of a group. I just want you to think about 2,342 times in front of a group. And that many times in front of a group, people will come up and say, Floyd, how did you do that many engagements? How did you get booked that many times? How come that many times people want to hear you speak? What have you got to say that many times? And so you think, boy, there's so much I want to tell you. It'd take 3 days. No, it'd take 6 days. No, it would take a year to tell you everything that I've learned after 2,342 and 18 years. But if you said, in a nutshell, in one sentence, Floyd, tell me what did it for you more than anything else, I would say I learned the 5 secrets that every professional speaker knows. If I could pass on those secrets to you, then they're not secrets to you, and they work. If they work for me, they work for anybody. I figured out the National Speakers Association, let me communicate this, has 3,600 members. And I want to divvy this up for you. And I'm hoping that this little dissertation that I go through right now makes some of you feel better. In the National Speakers Association, 20% of the speakers are doing 80% of the speaking engagements. There's a whole slew, bottom line, picture a triangle, a pyramid. There's a whole slew at the bottom, at the base, that are affiliates or groupies. There's another measure in the how many ever been to a National Speakers meeting? Come on, raise your hand if you ever have. How many belong to Professional Speakers Association of Michigan or any local group? You know as well as I do that there's a group of what do we call them? Affiliates, hanger-ons. There's another group of people that call themselves speakers, but they're not doing any speaking engagements, they're not getting any talks, they're not getting invited back again, they're not making any money, they're not, anyhow, stick with me, I'm going somewhere. There's a bunch of them that are pretty good, and there's a handful that can get all the talks they want, when they want, and almost how much they want. So I, as a teacher, look at these different groups of people, and I say, like I do in every type of business, what's the difference? What do these people don't know that these people know? What do the shooters know that the bottom ones don't know? It's this simple. These people, and I want you to think as I go through these secrets, I want you to think of the Zig Ziglars and the Og Mandinos, and I want you to think of the Robert Schulers, and I want you to think of the great speakers. They have all learned, one way or the other, the 5 secrets of the professional speaker. I mean this. When you learn those 5 secrets, you just begin becoming a pro. Now listen to this, Pat. If you can speak like a pro, though you're not being paid for it, is that not the epitome of delivering a dissertation to a group? Boy, how much would your people pay to come into your Monday meeting, Pat, if you were delivering like a pro? And you can if you learn the, help me out. Yeah. I think too, you know, I'm so proud of my trainers. And over the years, one way or the other, I guess we've been involved in training a couple hundred people. The same things you're going to be learning in this program. Out of that couple hundred, there's probably 75 that are out there making a living every single day. But there's a handful, probably 20, that could stand face to face with any world-renowned professional speaker in the world. They're making 6-figure incomes. How many ever heard the expression, they're blowing them away, making them roll in the aisles, knocking them dead, the best of the best. So I think about this and I say, okay, if we've trained a couple hundred, and maybe only 70, 75 actually make a living at it then, what's the difference? The people that do it, knock them dead, have them rolling in the aisles, blow them away, whatever expression you want, They've learned the 5 secrets. It's that simple. Write down these phrases. Make a note of these phrases anywhere you want. You got some blank sheet opposite the notebook. Write down these phrases. Speaker, trainer, teacher, facilitator, FAC period. Hey, why do you think speakers do stuff like this? Group leaders. Now, here's a question. What's the first one you wrote down? Please help me out. Professional speaker. Second? Trainer. Third? Fourth? Fifth? Of those 5, if you were meeting people and you met 5 people, one said, I'm a facilitator, I'm a group leader, I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, I'm a professional speaker, which one would you guess is the best orator? Come on. Oh yeah, it carries a stigma. But you know what? Make a note of this. Being a speaker has nothing to do with what you do. It has to do with how you do it. I'll paraphrase it. If you can teach a group leader to deliver like a professional speaker, and you can once they learn the 5 secrets. If you could teach a teacher to deliver like a professional speaker, then the kids wouldn't drop out like they drop out. Managers put on things with their groups, and they wonder why the people don't like the meetings. But if that manager delivered like a professional speaker, and he can if he learns the 5 secrets, the whole world gets better. So what had I better share with you? Help me out. The first secret is this.